All right, stick work drills that I would do with goalies. All right, I kind of took a lot of this from quarterback passing drills. So every time they make a save, I would say get your hands up to be a quarterback. You'll see goalies try to make passes here off their shoulder, and that's when they'll throw it. That's when they'll throw the ball down to the ground. They can't throw it as far. So I always say get your hands up by your ear right away. So you're here, so your hands are up ready to make a pass rather than being on your shoulder, being lazy, and then trying to throw. So what I do is I'll toss them a ball about 4 yards away. So when you toss them the ball, it's a lot lighter. So they have to be able to cradle it. If they have a hard pocket, it's harder to cradle a soft ball that you toss to them. So you really have to have soft hands cradled in, and they become a quarterback. I'll say back, right, back, and they have to keep their hands up. And then you say throw, and you can have different targets or different players out there for them to throw and decide where the options are. So that's the first one, the pocket presence. The read option one, it's not the read option of the new top quarterbacks, but once you make that save, if you shoot on them or do the same toss drill, all right, you have option one, which is the over the top, soft pass, reach for the cookie jar, lob it up over top. So you want to have them follow through with their top hand over the top, have a soft release. So that would be option one. Option two would be the short, we used to call it short porch or the safety. The midi is in the middle of the field. And then if you don't have anything of that, then option three, you have them roll out the back door and then tell them to throw to option one or option two as they are moving on the run. So it's a way that they kind of get here, they look up, who's open, who's open, who's open, nothing's there, then they got to roll out and they got to make that pass on the run. So once they leave the crease, they're no longer making passes standing still. Everything's going to be constantly on the run because you're going to have someone chasing you rather than having the luxury of standing still and making a pass in the crease.
One of the things we used to do with that was we'd put trash cans out, and then we'd put backstops up until the goalie throw the backstop. And that was a pass he'd throw like this. We'd throw the trash can, he got to throw it up. So we would put trash cans out. You guys went on backstops a lot, but you could put a coach out there and say, throw it to the coach. The kid throws in the line. Throw the trash can, he's going to throw up and over like we just talked about. So you could do that and just have the kids come close to the trash can. You don't want them throwing, they'll never get it. Or we used to if an extra goal, put an extra goal out and the kid throws it in the goal or he lobs it into a trash can. Yeah. So it's two different passes.
Yeah, so the touch passing into a trash can or read. So you can have that out there. Or if you have the luxury of having two goals, you can put one goal facing this way, one goal facing that way, and try to lob it and land over top in between the two. But just teaching you to have that touch passing, especially younger kids, it's hard for them to develop the touch pass over the top. All right, that's why I say reach for the cookie jar. So have them trying to shoot like a basketball. All right, so with their top hand, I don't want to hit the ceiling. Follow through over the top and have a smooth release over the top. And then I think I'll talk about it later, but always err and tell your kids it's always better to overthrow than underthrow on every pass that you're clearing the ball. Because if you overthrow it and it goes out of bounds, all right, you have a quick time to get back. All right, we don't have the horns anymore, but you have the ability to get back in the hole, readjust. If you throw it to the home run pass over the top, all right, like if you have Brian Farrell or Jesse Bernhardt breaking out, all right, they got pretty good at letting it go over the top, bounce once, and they're picking up and they're going again. Rather than if you underthrow it, midi picks it off and it's coming right back at you. So you always want to make sure you overthrow it because maybe your attack might have a chance at getting it if it goes over the midline, etc. But always err on overthrow rather than underthrowing it. And then the next drill that I'm going to talk about, monkey in the middle drill. All right, it emulates the clearing game from the end line on a dead ball or shot out of bounds as you are walking up the field. And I tried to do some animation on this PowerPoint, so hopefully it works. All right, so we would do this at Maryland when we had 3 or 4 goalies. All right, if you had 3 goalies, one goalie would be on one sideline, the other goalie would be on the other sideline, and the other goalie would be in the middle of the field. All right, the attackmen are just there as to show you how it would be in a clearing game, but in the drill right now, you wouldn't have them in the drill. So what would happen is G1 throws it to one side of the field. Let's see if this works. Yeah, look at that. So G1 throws it to one side of the field. His next responsibility is to bust his butt to get ball side on the hash mark. All right, by doing that, he puts the pressure on A1 and A2, who they're going to guard. A1 goes and plays the ball, but by the goalie G1 getting to the hash mark, it makes it difficult for A2 to split both. He's got to make a decision of either coming to play G1, so you get the cross or the over to G3, or if A2 plays on G3, you have the ball, G2 can throw it back to G1, and he has time to survey the field and get it out. A couple of things that I couldn't show on there that I want to emphasize is that if I'm walking up the field this way with, say I'm G1 and G2's on my left, G3's on my right, since I'm a righty, if I throw it across my body to G2, I want to come up here, turn my hips, look back to see if A2's coming to play me or not. That's my first look. Once I throw, I look back to see if I'm getting covered. So when you do this with the youth guys and the goalies, they throw and then just wait for it back again. Make sure you emphasize them. Turn back, see if you're covered, and turn your hips. Right? You don't want them to catch it with their stick upfield, because they catch it, they roll this way, stick's vulnerable in front of all the traffic. So you get jumped, your stick's here, you can't make a pass. All right, you don't want them to catch it this way, roll away, because you turn your back to the ball, they could drop down in a 10-man press ride, whatever it might be, but you take your eye off what's going on. So you want to turn your feet just like you would teach your attackmen or your middies to catch the ball, set, ready to shoot. This is how the goalie's got to play it. Throw it across. I set this way. I wait for it. I catch that ball across my body. So I'm here. So I'm ready to make a play right away. All right. If I was a lefty, right, I throw, and I can just catch it back like this, ready to make the play anyways. I look upfield, throw it across. As a lefty, I turn this way. I look I'm not covered, catch it, and go from there. All right. So it's important to always have your stick towards the end line, because the end line is safety. They can't check you from the end line, so you always have that as your protection. There are 3 different variations to this drill. The first one is when you throw it to a side, you catch it, you scan the field a little bit, jog it up, and then check back down to the other defender down. Then you sprint and get to the hash, catch it back, do this a couple times, throw it over. The next variation is you get over there to the hash, you catch the ball, and they have to fire it right away, cross from one hash all the way over to the other sideline, because that's where the clear is going to be at our advantage. So I catch it, that attackman's coming, I throw it right away. Once I throw it, I got to sprint over to the hash mark, all right, look back, I'm not covered, goalie, catch it, fire it away, sprint over here again, turn my hips, catch it, fire it right away, hustle over again. So that's option 2. So that works on catching the ball and being able to get it out of your stick right away, making good, hard 25, 30-yard passes. The next one, option 3, is if you're under pressure. So I come over here, I catch it, and then I act like the attackman just jumped me. So I got to head fake, run around, or make a pass on the run. All right, the next time I get it back, I catch it, I'll face dodge, right, and then throw it back to him. Everything's on the run. So there's 3 different instances that you practice, but at the same time, you're practicing the end line clear, walking it up off the end line against 2 attackmen down. So it's just kind of ways that you can teach stick work, conditioning, and to help your goalies in the clearing game, because you are the extra man on your side of the ball when you are clearing it. So some rules, I might have mentioned these already, but always follow a pass like wake in the boat. So when you throw it to your right, kind of curl around it like you would, because you want to be 5 yards deeper than the defender, so they can always come back to you if they need an outlet. So if they're getting pressured, they know that they can roll away and throw back, rather than having to throw across their body or forward, because you're not in a good spot for them. All right. Always look upfield, never turn your back, so the stick's always to the end line. All right, catch across your body. If you're a righty, this way. Catch across your body this way if you're a lefty. All right, and the goalie should know where the ball is going before he gets it. So think 1 pass ahead. So if I know that the attackman is covering our midi on that side of the field, and I'm like, goalie, I know I get it. I know I can make that lob pass over the top for that midi stretching over the line. What you don't want is to catch it, then freak out what's going to happen. That guy that was covered, or that guy streaking over the line is not going to get covered because the ride is bumping over. So you want to be able to think one pass ahead, know what's going on. And then lastly, hustle to every hash, so you know that you are the outlet for the clearing game, so you need to be involved as much as possible. And always overthrow if you have to, rather than underthrow.